Today is April 9th, 2017, and today we need to talk about the weekly news that happened over the week. This week is covering over April 3rd to the 10th. Also, a brief discussion about what this channel is and what you should expect to see later on. Every weekday, or every week on Sunday, I do a podcast like this, and we go over what happened over the weekly news and what happened, so breaking it down from weekdays, so like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the weekend, to see what Trump did, whether it be good or bad, what needs to change. And so stuff like that can range from Trump tweets, quotes from my favorite people on YouTube, things I liked from Trump, favorite video of the week, comment Q&A, and the Trump weekly address. So first I'm going to just get into what happened on Monday. And so on Monday, evidence that the Obama team has leaked illegal information to places is becoming a reality. This makes Trump team look very good, and Obama team's really bad, obviously. And then on Tuesday, Susan Rice scandal. And the reason why this is important, if you don't know anything about the Susan Rice scandal, it's basically the Obama team leaking illegal information about Trump. So taking information from the intel community, Obama team looked at what Trump team was saying and doing and looking through their lens. Also, Susan Rice lied about monitoring Trump on MSNBC. And there's a video on that I'm going to pull up right now. Now, basically, this is Susan Rice lying about what happened, and so she's in deep trouble right now. So we're going to watch this video from MSNBC.
Yes, and within the context of the Trump campaign, the Trump transition, did you seek the names of people involved in, to unmask the names of people involved in the Trump transition, the Trump campaign, people surrounding the president-elect?
Let me be clear.
In order to spy on them, in
Absolutely,
order to expose them?
Absolutely not for any political purposes, to spy, expose, anything. But let me...
We spoke earlier this evening with former Obama White House National Security Advisor Susan Rice, the author of that piece. It was her first interview since leaving the White House. I began by asking about the allegations leveled today by House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes that Trump transition officials, including the president, may have been swept up in surveillance of foreigners at the end of the Obama administration.
I know nothing about this. I was surprised to see reports from Chairman Nunes on that count today.
The name of Mike Flynn.
I leaked nothing to nobody, and never have and never would. But let me explain this. First of all, Andrea, to talk about the contents of a classified report, to talk about the individuals on the foreign side who were the targets of the report itself, or any Americans who may have been collected upon incidentally, is to disclose classified information. I'm not going to do that. And those people who are putting these stories out are doing just that. I can't describe any particular report I saw. And by the way, I have no idea what reports are allegedly are being described by those who are putting out this story. I don't know what time frame they were from. I don't know the subject matter, and I don't know who they think was collected upon.
The allegation is that in one case they are alleging in the Daily Caller that there was a spreadsheet that you put out of all of these names.
Absolutely false.
And circulate
information as you can, get as much intelligence as you can before President Obama leaves the administration, because I had a fear that somehow that information would disappear with the senior people who left. So it would be hidden away in the bureaucracy, that the Trump folks, if they found out how we knew what we knew about the Trump staff's dealing with Russians, that they would try to compromise those sources and methods, meaning we would no longer have access to that intelligence. So I became very worried because not enough was coming out into the open, and I knew that there was more. We have very good intelligence on Russia. So then I had talked to some of my former colleagues, and I knew that they were trying to also help get information to the Hill.
A lot going on today.
Yeah,
Mark
that's why
Halperin.
you have the leaking.
Alright, so there you have that. And so moving on to Wednesday, Devin Nunes, I don't know, there's a controversy of how to pronounce his last name. Anyway, he steps down from the Russia investigation, and the reason why this is important is because this shows that there's no evidence supporting the fact that Trump and Russia colluded. If they were to collude by now, or whatever, they would have said something by now. So that investigation is dying down. Finally, hopefully, mainstream media stops talking about that. So that's a good deal. And then all hell breaks loose on Thursday. Trump team fires a missile at Syria. This is very, very bad. Obama did the same thing, but even worse. And not Trump supporters, I guess, but Republicans and conservatives knocked down Obama for doing that. So now we're just a lot of people are showing hypocrisy because Trump did the same thing, and people would critique Obama for doing the same thing. And now, but Trump did it. Trump did it, so it must be okay. No, that's not how it works. So the reason why this is disasters is, there's a lot of things, but one thing that is still up in the air about Trump, during his campaign and even now, is his view on foreign policy. Now we have his first brink of what his views are, even though they've changed, and we'll go over how they changed in a second. But something to keep in mind, half of his advisors are CFR globalists. People who supported Trump's strike were Hillary Clinton, Chuck Schumer, Lindsey Graham, John McCain, Nancy Pelosi, the mainstream media, and ISIS. Also, another thing to keep in mind is the airstrike directly supported jihadist rebels, which put Christians at risk. Trump is ignoring his campaign line, the good old America first. Also, however, the chemical attack was horrific and worse than the strike in terms of human casualties. I'm not trying to say or disregard the horror that happened, but the Syrian missile attack is very bad because we're losing. Russia is becoming more and more mad at us, and that's why everyone's freaking out about World War III. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it's definitely a big deal and should be worried about. That is not good for Trump at all. So this is what is very not funny at all. 8 times Donald Trump said the U.S. shouldn't bomb Syria. So these are all tweets from back then. He says, "We should stay the hell out of Syria. The rebels are just as bad as the current regime. What will we get for our lives and billions of dollars? Zero. Remember all these freedom fighters in Syria want to fly planes into our buildings. Syria wants to fly planes into our buildings. Why do we keep broadcasting when we are going to attack Syria? Why can't we just be quiet? And if we attack at all, catch them by surprise?" Which I guess he did that, but also, if we are going to continue being stupid and go into Syria, watch Russia. As soon as they say in the movies, shoot them first and talk later. Let the Arab leagues take care of Syria. Why are these rich Arab countries not paying for the tremendous cost of such an attack? What will we get for bombing Syria besides more debt and a possible long-term effect? Obama needs congressional approval. Again, to our very foolish leader, do not attack Syria. If you do, many very bad things will happen, and that fight... I'm just going to reread that. Again, to our very foolish leader, do not attack Syria. If you do, very many bad things will happen, and from that fight, the U.S. gets nothing. So you could definitely say the foolish leader now is Donald Trump. But anyway, Russia is sending a fleet of ships to the Mediterranean. Obama's war in Syria has the potential to widen in a worldwide conflict. Many of Syrian rebels are radical jihadist Islamists who are murdering Christians. Why would we ever fight with them? If Syria forced to use Obamacare, they would self-destruct without even a shot being fired. Obama should sell them that idea. President Obama, do not attack Syria. There is no upside and no tremendous downside. Save your powder for another and more important day. So this is a good tweet that could have been tweeted now. President Trump, do not attack Syria. There is no upside and tremendous downside. Also, do not attack Syria. An attack that will bring nothing but trouble for the U.S. Focus on making our country strong and great again. Yeah, I agree with that, Mr. Trump. What happened? Also, Obama must now start focusing on our country, jobs, healthcare, and all the many problems. Forget Syria and make America great again. We should stop talking, stay out of Syria and other countries that hate us, rebuild our own country and make it strong and great again. USA. There is a so-called moderate Syrian rebel that pledged their allegiance to ISIS after Obama address. We should not be arming them. So Obama wants to bomb ISIS in Iraq and arm them in Syria. What is he doing? Do you believe that Obama is giving weapons to moderate rebels in Syria? Isn't true, or isn't sure who they are? What the hell is he doing? Will turn on us. So you can kind of see the hypocrisy there. I don't know what happened to Trump, why he changed his mind. That is not good at all. Something also that has to go with this event was the Syrian chemical attack survivor. He says, "Thank you, Mr. President," as CNN tries to bait them into saying something more negative towards Trump. So it kind of backfires and is counterproductive for CNN. Obviously, we all know they are a very biased source, but we'll get into this video right now.
I woke up for some reason. I couldn't sleep. I woke up. I saw a lot of texts on my phone. I saw the news. I cried out of joy. I jumped. I thanked God. I don't know. I was overwhelmed. We've been asking for protection. We've been asking for consequences for more than 6 years. And today, for the first time, it happened. For the very first time, we see Assad held accountable just for once. Held accountable for his crimes against humanity. I was overwhelmed. I felt grateful for President Trump. I felt grateful for the United States. I felt grateful for each and every person who lobbied and called and kept on talking until someone actually listened.
There are people in America, and I hear you supportive of President Trump, and so many people are, Democrats and Republicans, but there are also people over here in America who are saying, all right, so clearly President Trump is motivated by just, as we all have compassion for these just horrible images of these babies who were killed, but at the same time, this is a man who doesn't want Syrians to come into this country with this refugee ban. I want to just play some sound. Hillary Clinton weighed in.
We cannot in one breath speak of protecting Syrian babies and in the next close America's doors to them.
Quickly, Qasim, how do you see that?
With all due respect, I didn't see each and every person who was demonstrating after the travel ban. I didn't see you 3 days ago when people were gassed to death, when civilians were gassed to death. I didn't see you in 2013 when 1,400 people were gassed to death. I didn't see you raising your voice against President Obama's inaction in Syria that let us refugees, that made us refugees get kicked out of Syria. If you really care about refugees, if you really care about helping us, please help us stay in our country. We don't want to come to the United States. We want to stay in our country. We want to stay in our country. With all due respect, this is hypocrisy. If you really care, help us stay in our country. We don't want to become refugees. We want to stay in our country. Help us establish safe zones. Help us stay safe in our country. And if you just give me a few seconds just to tell President Trump once again, please, sir, what you did was amazing. What you did was a powerful message of hope for a lot of people inside and outside of Syria. Please don't stop on this. Please help Syrians stay in their country. Please establish safe zones. Please take out Assad air forces so they won't be able to commit more atrocities using traditional weapons. 500,000 people were killed with traditional weapons, just so people can know what we have suffered in the past 6 years.
Okay, so there you have CNN trying to bait him into saying something more negative. Then on Friday in the weekend, Moscow warns U.S. that the Russia military clash. Pentagon investigates Russia to see if they were responsible for the chemical attack. So that's all kind of interesting. And then finally, we're going to get into the weekly address, and that will be the end of the podcast. So here we go.
My fellow Americans, We're only 11 weeks in, but already my administration has achieved historic progress for the American people. In fact, 93% of our domestic manufacturers have expressed optimism in the future, a record. The confidence we're seeing in our nation is about jobs and opportunity, but it's also about safety and security. Security begins at the border. As a candidate, I pledge to take swift and decisive action to secure the border, and that is exactly what I've done. We inherited a full-fledged border crisis. It was a disaster. Yet, with quick and bold steps, we have so far exceeded even the most bullish predictions for the progress we could make in so short a period of time. Last month, we saw a 64% reduction in illegal immigration on our southern border. At the same time, we're conducting enforcement actions across the country to remove dangerous criminal aliens from our society, and they'll be gone. In just the last few days, our nation's ICE officers have arrested 153 criminal aliens in South Texas, 84 criminal aliens in the Pacific Northwest, and 31 criminal aliens in Long Island, New York. These arrests include aliens convicted of robbery, burglary, aggravated assault, sexual assault against a child, smuggling, drug dealing, and many more. Much work needs to be done to reverse decades of harm caused by open border policies from Washington. But with time, dedication, and effort, we will get the job done and save countless lives in the process. Providing security for the American people also means restoring America's standing in the world. From the very start of my presidency, I've worked to strengthen our alliances and improve our relationships all around the globe. This week, I was honored to welcome the President of Egypt and the King of Jordan to the White House. Now, I am hosting a summit with President Xi of China at the Southern White House to address the many critical issues affecting our two peoples. In our dealings with other nations, our conversations have been candid, open, and grounded in mutual respect. I have been clear about advocating for the national interests of the United States, something so important to me and so important to our people, one of the reasons, certainly, that I got elected. And I want to ensure that the decisions we make truly serve the safety and security of our citizens. In matters both economic and military, we understand that a strong America is in the best interests of the world. That is why it is so important that, as we strengthen international partnerships, we ensure these partnerships deliver real results for Americans and the American people. Our decisions will be guided by our values and our goals, and we will reject the path of inflexible ideology that too often leads to unintended consequences. A future of peace, safety, and prosperity, that is our guiding light, and always will be. Together, we will bring about this future for the land we love and for the people who call it home. We love our country, and we love the American people. Thank you.
Sorry about those text messages, but yeah, Trump kind of gets some things wrong at the end with, this will make America stronger again. No, we just went over why that's not true at all. So you can join me next week. I do these podcasts every week. Also, things to look for in my channel. Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to have a little segment about the daily news, because with Trump being president, it seems like there's been new news every day and something to talk about, so we can do that every day. And then on Sundays, I do this weekly podcast where we go over everything that happened and just roll it all into one, that just in case like maybe you missed the whole week of news or something, you can catch everything up all right here. And also comment Q&A. I'd love to have that segment in this podcast. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, a comment, and a subscription to my channel. And peace out.